All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like it is 3 o'clock. I'm going to get this ball rolling because I understand that all of you have places to be and things to do because everyone loves reading 400 pages while we're in a pandemic. So, right off the bat, I want to welcome you all to the Tennessee Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, commonly referred to as TACDL, student chapter. Real quick, unfortunately, some of our executive board members could not be here today, namely Ms. Martinez. She had a class conflict, but I'm going to let the executive board members who are here introduce themselves and tell you their position and kind of what they do.
Hey y'all, my name is Sarah Burns. I'm the Vice President of TACDL. I'm a 2L. I'm from Michigan, went to undergrad at Alabama, Roll Tide. Matt's rolling his eyes at me right now. Is there anything else I need to say, Matt?
Sarah, you currently hold a position at the PD's office, correct?
Yeah, I'm a clerk at the PD's office. I externed there over the summer through the school's externship program, and I'm still working there now. I'm also president of PALS, insert plug here. We'll have an interest meeting in like a week and a half, so hopefully I'll see you guys there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, PALS, TACDL, PD's office.
Zach, you're up, brother.
Hey y'all, my name's Zach Monroe. I'm from Memphis. I went to Rhodes. I'm a 2L. I'm the treasurer for TACDL. My shtick is pretty much, I really want to litigate, and I spent the summer externing with a federal judge, and this semester I'm working towards doing moot court and things like that. And that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Our professional liaison is Callie Word. Unfortunately, she could not be here today, apparently. She handles all communications with our professional chapter and things like that and setting up the mentor-mentee program. She's going to be discussing and detailing more of that later today. If you are all interested in that, we will have a separate meeting for that later on. So keep that in mind, if you're interested in criminal defense or any other activity involved in the criminal justice system. Again, Lupita Martinez is unfortunately not able to be here due to a class conflict. She's our secretary and also president of HALSA, if I'm not mistaken. Zach, Sarah, could you correct me if I'm wrong?
Yes, I believe that is correct.
We'll be doing a dual meeting later on, probably in the spring, regarding criminal immigration aspects and things like that. But we'll discuss more about our joint meetings later on. I'm Matthew Moore. I'm a 3L, president of TACDL. I'm currently externing with Memphis Area Legal Services. I have had a background in law for the last 3 years. I've been working as a private investigator / paralegal. I have recently obtained my LPL, my limited practice license through the externship program, and been actually representing clients and things like that in court. So just a consideration, although I am president of TACDL, I'm getting outside of my normal comfort zone and spreading to other areas of the law. Just keep that in mind. So, fortunately, that is our executive board, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm also on law review. I forgot that. So if you guys have questions about that coming up later in the year, I might be able to help, but probably not though.
So what is TACDL? As I previously stated, TACDL is just the Tennessee Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers. And what we do is we work rather closely with our professional chapter to support the work of the criminal defense bar. And we educate our lawyers and act as a voice for the bar and blah, blah, blah. What we do is we represent rights, ladies and gentlemen. I understand that there's a stigma associated with criminal defense lawyers. We're the sleazy dirtbags who represent the guy who stands up in court and says, yeah, I did it. When in fact, sometimes that is the case, but also we represent the innocent parties. We represent the people accused of crimes they did not commit. And basically, we are the last line of defense against a tyrannical government. If you ever have Professor Romance, you'll hear that quite often. He's very anti-tyrannical government, as we all should be. TACDL is not here to promote solely criminal defense. We're here to promote a progressive criminal justice system. Because the fact is, as long as the system works together, the system works. but the system fights each other and violates the rules, we have a broken system, and honestly is what we see today. So if you're interested in prosecution or anything else, feel free to join. I welcome you all because, as I stated, we need progressive prosecutors just as much as we need good criminal defense lawyers.
Can I just add on to that?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so Matt's talking about progressive prosecutors. I'm working in the PD's office. I'm in court a few mornings a week, every morning over the summer, and it's really, really helpful for our clients, especially when we have prosecutors who are willing to work with us to help our clients get the best deal that we can get for them. So that is like an important aspect in criminal law is, the prosecutors and being able to work both sides together.
Absolutely. Even going to so far as Zach's position as a clerk for a judge over the summer, we need people who are willing to defend what's right, regardless of the circumstances and things like that. In our student chapter, what we hope to develop here is through presentations, events, and other opportunities, we'd like to see everybody become more knowledgeable about what criminal defense actually is. A lot of cases we see, in the media is the bad guy getting off, for something it's clear he did. But the fact is not that. The fact is that we stand up there and we represent the rights of a client. And if his rights aren't violated, the only thing we can do as criminal defense lawyers is get the best deal possible. But also as criminal defense lawyers, sometimes we fight to make sure that it's not just a punitive system. Sometimes people don't need punishment, they need help. For the individual who's breaking into homes to fuel his drug habit, he doesn't need more punishment. What he needs is drug court or something like that. He needs assistance, rehabilitation, not strict punishment. I'll also say that, we do offer the mentorship program, which is great for networking and things like that. So even after the fact, if you decide that, criminal defense or prosecution isn't anything you want to do, you still have the networking ability. You still have the friends and the community to reach out and find other opportunities. Personally, I work well with MALs, individuals who are interested in family type work or landlord-tenant stuff. I can introduce them to the proper people at MALs, even though I have a sole interest in criminal defense work. We also talk about the challenges facing defense attorneys and necessary services that they offer. One of our biggest things we like to put on is an ethics panel. And we bring lawyers, judges, and things like that in to discuss some of the ethical questions you have to face. For instance, why is it when a criminal defense lawyer violates the rules of ethics and professional responsibility, he gets punished so much more harsher than a prosecutor who hides evidence and leads to a false conviction of an innocent individual? Sarah can speak highly about that, I'm sure. She takes it very personally. The fact of the matter is that we are a progressive organization. Although we have the moniker of criminal defense work and we do focus on criminal defense, we are not anti-prosecution. We are anti-tyranny. So some of our biggest speakers and things like that are Bill Massey, one of the pillars of law in the community, as well as Claiborne Ferguson and Judge Kraft himself. Judge Kraft teaches trial ad, who Zach is taking currently, if I'm not mistaken. Claiborne Ferguson is a former president of the professional chapter and partners with Blackwatch, who we also have come talk about things, because there's more than just defense work in the criminal justice system. You need to look at the investigators and how they perform their jobs. The judges, like Judge Kraft, who sits on the bench and hears all these cases, and talk about how he sits there and remains completely unbiased when he hears some of the worst facts possible about people. Bill Massey has been one of the biggest influential people in criminal defense for several decades now, and one of the first attorneys in Memphis, if I'm not mistaken, to partner with a female lawyer. I don't know a better progressive attorney to come and talk to you this. It's coincidental, however, I find him to be a very good friend, but he's like a used car salesman. He talks quickly, and affluentially, and just is honestly a great guy, though. And these are some of the mentors and connection opportunities we offer to our members and things like that. Now, our 1L representative positions, which I talked about briefly before the recording started, you'll be emailing our secretary, Lupita Martinez, a brief statement explaining why you should be the 1L representative for TACDL for your respective section. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there are 3 sections this year, so we would like to include a representative from each section. Basically, your experience or your skill set that you believe make you the best candidate. Then if there's any kind of confliction or opposition in the runnings, we will have a vote on Tiger Zone. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, here it is. The deadline for the 1L representative interest statements will be September 11th by 5 p.m. They'll need to go to Ms. Martinez. Basically, we're not looking for anything spectacular. 75 to 125 words will more than be enough, I believe. And basically, just explain kind of what you bring to the table, what you look to get out of the position, and hopefully any kind of experience with things like that. Now, a lot of other organizations, I believe, have fees and things like that, PALs. But the fact is that due to the abnormal circumstances here in this semester, we're going to be waiving those fees because as it appears now, we won't be going back in person and we will be unable to host in-person events. The fees next semester, if we are back in person, will be $15, and sponsorships will be from our donors will be, available to those that, as needed, first come, first serve. Our donors are very helpful and they want to see progression happen. And anyone who is interested in TACDL or any kind of a, advocate role will be more than willing to find a way to get you in. The food will cover our speakers, food, and things like that next semester. And again, if we don't have in person next semester, the fees again will be waived. I will say this, if we do happen, by the grace of God or whatever higher power, go back to in person this semester, fees will still be waived. TACDL has donors and things like that to cover the food and things. I will say that joining TACDL has a lot of benefits beyond just the outline bank and membership, mentor, mentee things. All the executive board members are here to help in any capacity, whether that means discussing everyday law school classes, personal issues, or whatever it need be. We want to see everybody who is in law school succeed, whether you're in TACDL or not. Now, granted, we do give a little bit more help to those TACDL members because we like to see us succeed. Sarah has pull at the PD's office, arguably. She's worked there for several months now. She's the best person to talk about it if you're interested in that. Zach, clerk for a judge. Best person to talk about that if you're interested in it. And we're here beyond law school. Law school is hard enough on its own. If you need help with classes, we'll help to the best of our ability. But if you just need to vent, because 1L is hard, let alone when you're doing it during a pandemic. We completely understand, and we are completely available to assist in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Now, for the nature of this, I do believe I'm going to stop this recording. I believe that's all we've had to say. If there are any questions. Yeah, Sarah, go ahead.
Yeah. I just want to say, adding on to what Matt had said earlier about the kind of negative connotation that like criminal defense has, and TACDL being connected with that as well. Just keep in mind that even if you don't think that you're interested in criminal defense kind of pulls in. Sorry, it went to a little screen and it's confusing me. Sorry. It kind of pulls in aspects from all different areas because you are looking at like investigations, and sometimes that includes like, mental health evaluations and juvenile law and different things like that. So even if you're not necessarily interested in like being a prosecutor or criminal defense attorney, it's still interesting to see how other areas that you might like or be interested in kind of work their way into criminal law. And it does help that, like, so many of us, like, I work at the PD's office. I have a lot of connections there. Matt works with Mal's, Zach clerked for a judge. And you're going to be told over and over by people, it's all about who you know, and they're not lying. Connections are how you get anything done here. Okay, I think that's my whole spiel.
Yeah, I would just add, I mean, first of all, of course, I agree with everything both of you guys have said, obviously, but just to add to that, it's tactile is also more about a lot more than just the idea of someone being right or someone being wrong. I mean, the whole point of our system is that it only functions when there's zealous ethical advocacy on both sides of the bar, whether you're a prosecutor or a criminal defense attorney. Like, if you don't really go after the interests of your client effectively and zealously, but ethically, then the system breaks down. And the whole idea of this organization is, in addition to other things, to cultivate the kind of advocates who have the ability to do that, whether you choose to take that with you into the practice of criminal law on either side of the bar or not. Part of the idea is honing your skills as an advocate. I mean, like Matt was saying about Bill Massey, like, you could listen to that guy read the phone book, because, I mean, he's just so darn entertaining to listen to talk. And if you've got 12 random strangers who are away from their family, missing a day of work, doing some stuff they probably don't really care about, and are sitting in a box and deciding the fate of someone whose fate is also in your hands by persuading those 12 people, you better be able to keep them entertained. So the ability to learn how to do those kinds of things carries over into a lot more than just criminal law, or even like professionally. I mean, personally, there's advantage there. So the idea is we're all about trying to be zealous, ethical advocates in addition to focusing on criminal issues, but also that too, of course.
No, absolutely. They both are exactly right, and I can't think of anything better to say. I'll say this. Personally, tactile means a lot to me. At 17 years old, I was accused of a crime I did not commit, for which I had to prove my innocence. Because the fact of the matter is, in our judicial system today, there is no presumption of innocence. You are fighting a downhill battle when you are accused of a crime. Guilty or not, does not matter. I stood in the middle of a court and had to prove my innocence, and I am a white American male. If it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. And it has pushed me to be the best advocate I can be. Now, here's the facts. I was innocent. Not everybody is. Doesn't matter. Rights are rights. And people deserve to be represented, as Zach said, zealously, ethically, and without question. And that's what we're here to provide. Zealous advocates who will do the job that sometimes requires you to play the bad guy, you know. But the fact of the matter is, we're here to defend rights above all else. And frankly, I hope everyone here watches it later or now is interested in the idea of being an advocate where others may back down. I believe everybody at Memphis Law has that ability and desire to be the best they can be. And I look forward to working with each and every one of you.